Are you ready for some Christmas card ideas or simply ideas for using your 6x6 pattern paper without making scraps? Hi, I'm Jess from JessCrafts.com, paper crafter of over 20 years and designer of paper busting templates that show you how to take patterned paper and create cards without scraps. So today I am working with 6x6 paper busting template number 51 for A2 cards. I have 60 in all. Many of them are available for free individual download at jesscrafts.com, but you can also purchase packs in the Etsy shop, and that is where this one will be in a pack in the Etsy shop. And I am working with the Paper Rose Christmas Tree Farm Basics 6x6 paper collection, and this has a lot of great Christmas basics as suggested, and I pulled several of them out, like the one I'm going to use today. And there's this one here that has a great basic, and then this one. But then there are also some with some more larger and interesting designs, which I hope to use in the future. But for today's, I wanted something a little bit more simple. It also has these tags, which I have cut out and I'm going to use for embellishing today. Most of these tags, I found that I could cut the top off where the hole would be and just create like little images to use on my card, which I prefer to tags. There were a handful that I thought would look better if I used them as traditional tags just because of where the designs were, but many of them could just be cut into little embellishment squares. So this is going to be really easy to craft with, this whole paper pad. But today I am working with this poinsettia paper, and I am going to show you how to cut it without scraps. When using tools like paper trimmers, please follow all manufacturer's safety instructions. We are going to cut the top half into 3x4 rectangles. There are some patterned papers that have like 3x4 cut aparts on a 6x6 pattern paper and then some extra embellishment at the bottom. So this can be great for those as well, but today I'm going to use it in a more simple way. So I'm going to cut 4 inches off. So this is 4 by 6 inches. And then I am going to cut that in half to 3 by 4. And so these are kind of the main panel here, but there is going to be something layered on top of it. So that's important to consider. And then what is remaining is 2 inch by 6 inches, and I'm going to cut it to 1 by 6 inches. Then I'm going to cut that 1 by 6 into 1 by 4 1/4. That's going to stretch all the way across the card. So you can see that that's going to be there in the background. Some of it is going to be covered by the 3x4 panel. I'm okay with that, but I do want to point that out. And I'll do the same with the second one, cutting it 4 1/4. Then we're going to need to cut some cardstock mats. As a general rule, my cardstock mats are just 1/4 inch bigger. So my 3x4s are going to be 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So if I take this piece of pattern cardstock that is 8.5 by 11, I can cut it to 3 1/4. This is Park Lane cardstock. It was purchased at Joann's. So it's white core and it's no longer available. I'm trying to use up some of this because it's not my favorite, but I did pick up some when it was more widely available because they have just different colors. And also, you know, sometimes I'd find like a really good deal on it or something, but I do prefer a color core cardstock. Okay, so now I have my 2 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 panels. I'm going to be able to do a similar thing where I get 2 without any like scraps from that area. So I'm going to bring this to 1 1/4. That can be a little bit tricky sometimes on my paper trimmer. So sometimes I'll just, like here I have, this is 7 3/4. I need 1 3/4. So sometimes I'll just subtract it, the 1 1/4 that I need. And so here we have 1 1/4 by 8.5. We cut that in half to 4 1/4, and those are the 2 panels that we need for these long strips. And then for this last piece, if you have any scraps, which it looks like I do, I would suggest going there first. I probably should have earlier too, but that's okay. I knew I was going to cut those with relatively small scraps. So I need, this remaining piece here is 1 3/4 by 1 inch. And so I need a 2 by 1 1/4 inch mat. I'm looking at this and it's almost 2 inches, but not quite, which makes me kind of wonder, do I have another scrap that's already 2 inches this one's gonna be then too long. So I always just try to like to see if I can make something with what I have. It is only a little bit less than 2 inches, but I do think I would have another idea for that. So I'm gonna cut this to 2 inches and then 1 1/4 off of the end. So I have 2 mats for these smallest pieces of patterned paper. Then, now normally you wouldn't need this because this is going to be a mat for my embellishments, but I do think the embellishments that I'm using would benefit from a mat. So what I'm probably gonna do is, I didn't cut these at a very perfect measurement. I kind of just cut them as they needed to be cut. So like if it's a, you know, some of them are going to be a little bit less tall or wide than the others, so I won't be able to know the exact measurements I need. So in that case, what I usually do is just attach it to cardstock and then trim it. So I could glue or adhere this down and then cut the edge off. And so that is what I'm gonna do with some of my other scraps of this cardstock. If you're wondering what to put inside your Christmas cards, I have jokes that are Christmas jokes. I also have winter holiday jokes, the Happy Holidays message, and just plain winter jokes at jesscrafts.com. They're free to download. You don't have to enter your email address or anything like that. So I will link those. But I have also designed these card inserts that allow you to put like a little activity and message inside your card, and they are designed in both portrait and landscape mode. So if your card is facing the other direction, that's okay. They do fit in A2 size cards and larger, so they wouldn't really fit in a slimline card, but they would fit in like a 5x7 card, for instance. And so they include a variety of activities, and then you can cut them apart and add them to your card. And I will leave you a link if that sounds interesting to you. So let's look at completing the cards. I have attached all of the pattern paper to the coordinating mats as described, all the different sizes. I do try to spend a lot of time focusing on the measurements so that if you don't get the template, you can recreate the cards anyway. And I have decided to put a little bit of scrap cardstock on the back just to prop this up, since it's going to be overlapping this background panel here that also has cardstock and is a little bit raised up. But because there's a good amount of the surface touching, I don't think you have to do that. It's just a kind of a personal preference. And then as you can see on the sketch, I had kind of envisioned this piece going here, like in the corner. And I thought this would be a great place to put your sentiment. Maybe if you had a really beautiful pattern paper, you wouldn't need to add anything. And I actually do think you could just put a sentiment here and be done with this card if you wanted to. But like I said, I had all of those different little squares that, or not squares, like rectangles that I could cut out. They were originally tags. I picked this one that says warm wishes and has a little kitty on a rocking chair. It's a little gray tabby, and I have a gray tabby, so I love that. But I am putting this cat and dog here with poinsettias and holly. And my understanding is those are not very safe around pets. I'm obviously not an expert in animals in any way, but I did do a little bit of research because we had some houseplants when I got our cat, and you have to be pretty careful with pets and plants. So just something to keep in mind, because they look pretty on the card, but maybe they don't mix so well. Okay, anyway, so I am thinking about how would I rearrange, because I basically want to use this block with my embellishment in just a way that adds some interest to the overall look, because I can't quite center it on there. It's so similar in width to that little pattern paper strip. I could, if I wanted to, like cut this apart and then stretch it across or something like that. But I think I'm just gonna like kind of layer it on for some interest. Also, if this didn't have a sentiment, I could still add my sentiment like right here and then layer this on top. I think that would be a great option. You could do that with the dog image since there isn't a sentiment. I also personally don't know that you need a sentiment. I don't always add one to Christmas cards, just because for me, I think it's pretty clear it's a Christmas card, and on the inside, you're going to probably have a holiday message anyway. I think you could say that's true about many occasions. You don't need sentiments on your cards, and I also know sometimes people like to leave them off. Like say this paper, to me, poinsettias are, and I hope I'm saying that correctly, they are a very Christmas flower. as opposed to just like a general, if there were snowflakes or something. You could maybe then leave a sentiment off, and then if you wanted to send it not for Christmas, just as a winter time, that could be an option. But anyway, I'll glue down all of my embellishments and little pieces of pattern paper, probably about like that. And that will be it for my cards today. If you found this video helpful, here's another video where you can find more ideas for enjoying your crafty time and supplies. Let me know you like this video with a share to your crafty community, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next template or tutorial, and check the video description for product links. See you in the next video.